Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking a little bit about typing biomechanics. I also would like to say as a little bit of a foreword to this, that this assignment was a little bit harder for me to do just because I never learned how to type. Every typing class I've taken I've failed, so I kind of do a modified version of finger pecking. But I thought that would be kind of interesting to show here, so I did have to substitute a few of the slides. So the ideal wrist and hand movements with typing biomechanics is where the wrist is straight and in line with your forearm, with your thumb naturally positioned. And ideally, you're going to want to have your wrist kind of like resting on the edge of the keyboard, not pressing down on anything, and your hands hovering above the keys. So that way, you're ready to press down on any given key at any given moment. So the fingers are used to press down and then release on the keys, and this is done using the flexion, pressing down, and extension, pulling up. Thumbs, they really their only purpose is just to hover over the space bar and are only used to press that key when it's needed. So, in comparison, my wrist and hand movement is a little different. I primarily use my first and second finger, or my index and middle finger, to type. And so here we have the max finger velocity, which is seen to be 1,298.75. And I wasn't able to show really my thumbs or my pinkies because I don't really use them much. It's just the two fingers. So what I've shown here is the purple line up at the top there. That is my first finger, the one that's primarily used to do all the moving, and here I've kind of tracked its movement with its final resting point there on the G key, and then that bottom one is my second finger to another with its final resting place over there at the P, and shown here on this graph is the velocity of them side by side with, of course, our max finger velocity being at the top. So the wrist and hand movement, your wrists aren't really supposed to move much. All of the moving is supposed to be like in your fingers. But with me, my right hand tends to move around a little bit more at the wrist, versus my left hand is maybe a little bit more stationary, but still has a wider range of movement than it's maybe supposed to. So the max distance moved by my right wrist is 3.5 inches, and then the max distance moved by my left wrist, shown right in here, that is 1.99 inches, so just below 2 inches, which is still pretty big. And then the spacebar strokes from each thumb, they don't exist. I don't use them. As you can see in this picture, my thumb's even tucked under my hand a little bit. And then some other observations. There really wasn't much, but one of the other observations was the occasional switch from second to third finger. I really don't know why this is, but while I primarily type with my pointer finger, every once in a while I'll randomly switch to my middle finger. That's something that I noticed watching back on the video. And the other thing was the last 3 digits are curled upward, so that would be my pinky finger, ring finger, and sometimes my middle finger. They're kind of curled upward, as you can see right here. So in conclusion, my own typing biomechanics don't really match how it's meant to be done. So I don't really use as many fingers, but they do move over a wider range over the keyboard. And my wrist motion, as I mentioned before, is far more than what is standard to typing, with little to no use of the last 3 fingers, which kind of forces them to be curled into that weird position sometimes. I think the best way that can be used to fix this would just be using more online typing classes and exercises, but